friends, I hope that this camera is straight. We're gonna assume that it is, and as usual, we're gonna roll with it. Today, I wanted to make a quick video about what not to do on LinkedIn. I am not the LinkedIn police. You can do whatever you want, but these are some things that I've noticed that commonly happen on this professional website, which I think kind of damage people's view of you potentially, and you might not even be aware that you're doing this. But I just wanted to talk about it real quick because yeah, there's some questionable things that sometimes I see on LinkedIn. Anywho, so the first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that LinkedIn is a professional platform. This goes without saying, but apparently some of y'all need a reminder. If you wouldn't want your current employer or anybody who you might work with in the future to see it, just keep it off of LinkedIn. I strongly advise against putting your political opinions on LinkedIn. I see people sometimes swearing on LinkedIn. Like, if you wouldn't use that language in the office, why would you use it on LinkedIn? Sometimes I'll be scrolling and I'll see people like fighting in the comments and calling others names and stuff. And I'm like, this is so wildly unprofessional and disrespectful. Would you treat your coworkers like this? Imagine what your employer is gonna think when he sees that. I'm not saying that your employer should be your pinnacle of morality, but I think sometimes people get so into their emotions that they don't even think about how this comes off or how it reflects on their professional image, on their image as an employee, as an employer, as a leader, as a teammate. Part of this PSA that I'm just gonna throw out there is that LinkedIn is not a dating website. And yes, there's a lot of intelligent, beautiful, successful people on LinkedIn, but when women especially receive messages completely out of left field from men that they have never met in their life, when they're just trying to get that bag by having a good profile on LinkedIn, it's like, can I help you, sir? So anyways, my advice to avoid these kinds of mistakes would be to simply keep it professional. Don't post things spontaneously on the internet in a moment of emotional irrationality when it could have serious repercussions on your professional image and your potential career path. Especially in today's time when a lot of topics are polarizing and we live in a very politically charged climate, I'd say that just being as drama-free as possible while still staying true to your personal values is the way to go. The second thing I want to get out of the way is that solicitations does not equal networking. Probably the worst way to go about networking is to send random people a completely generic copy-paste message that clearly has zero catering or zero interest in getting to know the person or building some kind of personal connection or actually networking with someone, or even worse, to send them your resume and cover letter that they didn't even ask for, sometimes in a first message. I don't know where this audacity came from. Like, I don't know where this kind of level of entitlement came from. It just comes off as super entitled and as though you think that that person owes you their time and their energy to review the cover letter. Someone's LinkedIn profile is not a job board for you to dump resumes and cover letters on. That's what job applications are for. What I would recommend to do instead is to look at that person's profile in detail, understand who your audience is, and ask yourself, is this person in a position potentially to realistically help me? If your purpose for networking is trying to land a job, what I would suggest is to try to make a personal connection through asking for advice or asking for some kind of insight. People are usually pretty open to sharing about their experiences or sharing about their insights because it makes them feel good to talk about themselves. This approach of asking questions and kind of respecting that that person has gone through the experience and they're a valuable source of knowledge is going to get you a lot further than just spraying and praying as starfish do. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is to not over-exaggerate your accomplishments. I used to have this one professor who recommended to us in our first year of university that we should post absolutely everything on LinkedIn. Any kind of achievement that we have in our work, even if it's just the slightest little thing, we should put it on LinkedIn because it's going to show future employers how far we've come in our career. I could not disagree more with this statement. From a perspective of a recruiter, and I'm not a recruiter, I'm just kind of picturing it from the recruiter's eyes because I've been successful with recruiters on LinkedIn. It's a lot better when a candidate under promises and over delivers than over promises and under delivers. We have all seen those cringy LinkedIn posts where somebody will do this much and post about it like they did this much. One of the most memorable and low-key respectable posts that I have ever seen in my life was when somebody just posted their new certification, which they had upgraded, and it was one picture of the certification and one sentence. Decided to upgrade my blank certification to blank. This is a big accomplishment, but because they said it so casually, it came off as like, no big deal. Even though it is a big deal, and it's a big deal to employers too, to see that that person put in that effort to upgrade that certification. But they know that they're capable of more. They know that this isn't their greatest accomplishment ever in their life. They have more things going for them. And so because of that, they sell it as something like, yeah, whatever. Less is more, you know? And finally, if the achievement involved other people, I strongly suggest to give them credit where it's due. Give your team a shout out, because part of being a great teammate and leader is to boost your team's morale and give credit where it's due. So there you go. Those were my 3 tips on how to avoid looking and coming off as cringe on LinkedIn. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, drop a like and consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.